that people should come and unite as one people, irrespective of tribe, of race, of gender, of generation.
Idinade, habari yako. Hello, how are you? These are the greetings we use in my home country of Kenya. Now, I was born in this very country here, in this very town of Homa Bay, near Kisumu. I moved to the United States, Seattle, Washington, specifically when I was 8 years old. At the age of 21, I moved to Arizona State University and completed my computer and engineering studies at Arizona State. Then along the way, I ended up just enjoying life a little bit, just going waywardly in whichever fashion I could. I started doing club promotions, parties, just trying to figure out what life was like. Around 28, 29, I had a particular calling. Something just told me that I needed to do something more with my life. That calling led me to going back into the church, and then eventually I found my wife, Mrs. Roshando Oguel. We got married when I was 30, and we then had our firstborn son when I was 32. That calling started sounding a little louder after my first child. I made it a point to bring my firstborn son back home so that he could meet his family and so that my family members could meet him as well. That was back in 2013. On that very first visit, it was my first time visiting Kenya in over 25 years. That trip was amazing and it changed my life forever. Right then, I vowed to come back more often. Now, I came about 3 or 4 other times ever since that first visit, but I wanted to do more. Now, as we ended up having more children, something was telling me that I wanted to find a year within my life. Because I had grew up in America, I know that time is something we don't have, and before you know it, it goes by quick. And so I decided that before our son went to high school, before he went to 8th grade, I wanted to bring all of the children to experience Dala. Now, instead of just going to Nairobi, where we could just live like any American city that we've been used to, I decided to bring the children right here, Dala, home, where the Luo tribe resides, where my grandparents, everybody that I've ever known stays. Pretty much everyone speaks Luo. And so at that point, it was decided. With my wife's blessings, we definitely took that trip. And now we're here in Kenya. The sky is gray and the clouds are crying. That is because right now we have lost one of our heroes. And I'm speaking about Raila Odinga, a man who the nation calls Baba. To me, as a young kid, I called him Uncle Raila. When we moved to America, I lost a lot of connection with just my tribe and my people. And so very few times, very often, a few Kenyans would come and visit us in Seattle. One time, as a young kid, I remember being introduced to a man as my uncle. My father said, "Hey, this is your uncle." And I greeted him. I said, "Hello, uncle." He said, "I'm Uncle Raila." I said, "All right, nice to meet you, Uncle Raila." And then, like a child, I went outside and played. Many years came back after that time, and I started hearing about things in Kenya as I got older, and I had to make a call. "Hey, Baba, is the uncle you introduced us to the one I keep hearing about in Kenya?" Yes, it was Uncle Raila, who was known as Baba. Now, along my trips, I wanted to get a chance to know more about Kenya. I started reading about Kenya, and then I found out that Uncle Raila and his father and many other great Luo men in the country of Kenya, such as Robert Ouko and many others, had fought to make an equal Kenya for the people. Kenya is a young country, and it had gained its freedom from the British in the early 60s, around the time my mother was born. So it has been finding its ways. I remember in 2007, there was a big uprising where many people were killed because there was tensions between the different groups. Uncle Raila, Baba, had lost the election and the country started going in chaos. Many people died. It was Baba who went ahead with the government to create cohesion. It was Baba who, every single time there was uprising going on, who would find a way, even though sometimes it was uneasy for the people, to bring everyone together. That's the man who Baba was to the country. Now, there was this thing every year I would tell my people, oh, my uncle's running for election. And we would patiently wait, and then we would have to find another way to say, okay, maybe it's not the time. But somehow the people started just calling him the people's president. He became the prime minister prior, but after that he was just the people's president. I remember in 2022, one of those callings came again, and it said, go meet Baba. Go meet Baba and create the merger for the future, which were your children, and the past, which Baba held a baton to. I got on a plane. I traveled all the way from America to Kenya. Now, you don't just come to meet Baba or Uncle without bringing a gift. So my wife and I, and with the help of a few of our friends, our supporters, who understood that I wanted to come and meet Uncle Raila during the election trail, assisted me in bringing a gift. I remember we went to this nice big store, and we bought a wonderful watch for Baba, okay? Now, I personally would not buy something like this for myself. I barely wear jewelry, but at the time it was like a sticker shock. That watch came up to about almost like 70K in Kenyan shillings. But on the way, I remember we stopped off in Dubai because we needed a special pen. Baba was going to be the president. Baba needed to have one of those special pens he would write all these laws with. And so in Dubai, we were able to get him a gift, a special pen as well, and brought it all the way from Dubai to Kenya. Now, Baba's schedule was hectic. When I landed, I finally understood what it was like. There was security everywhere. I was given a chance to go to his home and the office over in Nairobi. I was able to see big billboards. I was able to see how much the country really loved Baba. I had a chance to go up close and personal to one of his rallies. I had a wonderful time. I got to dance on stage. I was able to see the people just be enamored and just be in awe of who Baba was. I got the call the very next day that we would be able to finally get the meeting. I got whisked away in a car. We traveled all through Nairobi. Like, it was crazy. Every single minute it would be like you'd get an information, Baba's here, Baba's there. But it was after one of his CNN conversations or live streams he was doing, I was able to meet Baba and introduce myself, the young nephew he met when he was in America a long time ago in Seattle. Baba was able to give me a nice handwriting signature for the children because I came to tell him that the diaspora supported him and the people home supported him, and we were thankful for what he was doing for our nation.
The diaspora supports you, Baba.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
He said thank you, and he told me to go ahead and do what I can with the young children. I remember telling him that I would want to bring the children back home to meet him, and we were set. I ended up visiting back home and had a great time, went to America. This year, we made it. We got here. But as soon as we landed, we started getting word that Baba was sick. But Baba's always been a fighter. I didn't think nothing of it. We said, we will see Baba soon. The children were excited because they wanted to meet Uncle Raila. Unfortunately, I received the news around the same time the country received the news. My father gave me a call. He was very heartbroken to share the news with me that I had to give him a hug once I saw him. That a hero had fallen. Baba Raila Odinga had passed away. Now, upon hearing this news, I started feeling a heaviness in my heart. But what happened next, from that heaviness, basically my heart started lifting a little, because all of a sudden I started experiencing something I have never experienced in America. The whole town started honking their horns. There was women crying, there was men yelling and screaming and shouting, and everybody just wanted to share their condolences to Baba. They were putting leaves on vehicles. My young sons went with me. They started helping putting leaves on cars with other people. And then I had a chance and an opportunity to go on one of the marches with the city. We marched all the way through Houma Bay town, down to almost to where his building was just created this year. This is still fresh. This is still new. I am saddened that I'm not able to introduce my sons to a great Kenyan leader of the past, the present, and the future. But I am happy to have been home at this moment, in this time, to experience this. I want to share my condolences to the country. I want to share my condolences to the family of Baba, and I hope that God will rest his soul. And I would like to just share a message to the young Kenyans of the future, to take the spirit of Baba, to look for the way where you can make everybody get a chance of this wonderful Kenyan land that we have. This is a land that was built for all of us. We should all be able to share in the fruits of Kenya. Please keep working. Please keep doing what you can. And eventually all the Kenyans will be able to eat the fruits of the labor of Kenya, because it's a beautiful country. And eventually what Baba was fighting for, we will all be able to taste. I thank you, and God bless.